Hi, I'm Daniel with eTrailer, and today we're going to take a look at and I'm going to show you how to install the Airlift LoadLifter air helper springs on our 2025 Ram 3500. Before we go ahead and install the airbags, I'm going to get a couple measurements so we can compare. I'm going to get the measurement of the front wheel well here, and that's going to be about 39.5. Now I'll go ahead and get the back one. This one's going to be right at 42 inches. So now we'll go ahead and hook this up to a trailer, put some tongue weight on that hitch, and we'll see how much it sags. I'm going to go ahead and put some blue painter's tape on this strut here before we put the weight on the back, just so we can get a visual representation of how much this is going to sag back here. Now with the weight on our hitch, I'll go ahead and get our measurements once again. And the rear is going to be 41 and a little less than a quarter. So that did drop a good 3/4 of an inch. And keep in mind, there's not a ton of weight in that trailer, so that's a decent amount. Now I'll go ahead and do the front. And the front here is going to be about 39 3/4. So that front did raise just a little bit. So that is going to affect your headlights. They're going to be raised, so they're going to be shining into someone's car in front of you. Might make them mad. But it's also going to prolong the life of your tires, increase drivability when you have those airbags, so you can level everything out. And with our bags installed, I'll go ahead and put our trailer back on. So I'll go ahead and lower down our trailer. Now I'll put some air in our bags and get our truck back to factory ride height. I went ahead and kept adding air into the bag until I got to our measurement at 42 inches, so now it's at factory ride height. We went ahead and measured the front here, and that's going to be factory ride height as well. So what does this all mean? Adding airbags to your ride is going to increase safety by reducing the sway and bounce of your trailer on the highway. It's going to make your ride a lot smoother by firmly planting those front tires on the ground, so it's going to increase drivability, and it's going to save you money because it's going to have less tire wear and your suspension is going to last a lot longer with this system. A lot of people wonder if airbag enhancement is going to affect their ride quality, and I found actually driving this with and without the loads is it doesn't really affect it at all, which is a good thing. When you have a load on back, you want to have a nice smooth ride, and it didn't feel any different when I didn't have a load on back. This is what these are going to look like installed under your truck here. And I have the factory jounce bumper, and as you can see, this would really only be effective if you bottom out your truck bed. Here's the difference. On the left, factory suspension. With the load on, 750 pounds of tongue weight, the rear squats, the front feels a little light, steering is getting a little sloppy, braking takes longer, and at nighttime our headlights will be aiming at the sky. On the right, same load, but with Airlift airbags, filled to 55 psi. The truck's level, steering feels solid, braking is balanced, and the ride is smooth and controlled. The truck sits level again, and you can feel the difference immediately. So having airbags is going to allow you to support that load in your bed, and these are rated to support loads of up to 5,000 pounds. But do always check your owner's manual of your truck's payload capacity. These bags are made out of a durable rubber, so you're not going to have to worry about these wearing out. And they can hold up to 100 psi, but if you're not hauling anything, do keep them at 5 psi so you don't damage them. As far as installing these airbags, it is actually really easy on the Ram. There's already mounting holes for your brackets, but if you don't have the time or tools to do this yourself, then you can check out our dealer locator. We actually have professionals in your area that can get this installed for you. But if you're looking to do it yourself, follow along and I'll walk you through it. First off, I'm going to go ahead and get our spare tire removed, make it a little easier to work under. I got a 16mm socket. I'm going to go ahead and take out these 2 bolts. This is the factory jounce bumper. I'll just go ahead and get these removed. And I'll do this on both sides. I got the airbag here, and there's going to be one side with 2 threaded holes. The other side is going to be the same, but this is going to be where the air fitting is going to go. So we're going to take the roll plate, set it on top, the big hole over that. We'll take our air fitting and get this threaded on. I got it finger tight, and now I'm gonna grab a 12mm wrench, and I'm gonna give this 1.5 turns. That's one. And you just wanna make sure that that orange thread lock is down in there. We can always come back and tighten this more after we test it. Now I grabbed the upper bracket here, and there's gonna be an L and an R written on both of these. The L is gonna, of course, be for the driver's side, and the right's gonna be for the passenger. So now I'll go ahead and set this on top. I'll grab our 3/8 bolts. I'll go ahead and put a locking washer and a flat washer, and I'll get these tightened down. Now I'll go ahead and tighten these down with a 14mm socket, and all the hardware for this kit is going to be using a 14mm socket. So I'll go ahead and tighten and torque these down. Don't want to go too tight on these. I'll go ahead and torque these down to the specs and the instructions, and if you don't have a torque wrench at home, you can usually rent one from your local auto parts store, or you can buy them from us at etrailer. We'll go ahead and flip this upside down, get our roll plate on the bottom here, get those lined up. And now I'll get the bottom bracket on top of this assembly, and the one with the hooks on the side is going to be facing down, and it's going to be on the side with the smaller bracket here. So that's going to be the side that these brackets are on. Go ahead and get the same 3/8 hardware, get a locking washer and regular washer, and now I'll just get this hand tight. There is slots in this lower bracket, so you can move this side to side. So right now we're just going to want to leave these hand tight so we can move this when we put it on the vehicle. I did put a pole jack under here just so I could raise the bed and give me a little bit more space to work. If you're doing this on the ground, you can just use a regular jack and get the same result. On the driver's side here, there's going to be an air intake for your rear axle. So I'm just going to get this off with the trim panel tool and out of the way. Now I'll put this in place, and you're going to want these to be flat up against the leaf spring here. So I'll go ahead and get this in first. I'm going to push down on the airbag. I got it in place. What you want is for this to be as far back as possible on the back bracket. And the top one, you just want to have that in line, so you don't want your bag to be offset either way. And there's going to be top holes, and you're going to want those to line up with these slots here. So once it's pretty much in place, I'll go ahead and start putting our hardware on. First, I'll take the U-bolt and put it on this side of the leaf spring, and I'm trying to go through the holes in our lower bracket here. Just gonna rotate it until I can get this to line up. Once I get both sides in place, I'll go ahead and take my flange nut and get this hand tied on both sides. Now you're going to want to take your 7-inch carriage bolt, and there's going to be a square hole on the bottom bracket. Go ahead and put that through either side. I'll take the bottom clamping bracket and get this put into place. And I'll take those same flange nuts and get this tightened up. This L bracket will come in your kit. There's going to be 2 holes in one side. I'll go ahead and drop our black bolts through those. And then we're going to want the flat part facing in towards the vehicle. I'll go ahead and get this dropped through the holes in the frame of the vehicle and the holes in our upper bracket. Now I'll take the gold color nylock nut and washer and get these in place. Now we're ready to tighten and torque everything down. I'll go ahead and start with the U-bolt here, and then I'll tighten the bottom support next, and then the upper bolt, and finally those ones we left loose on the bottom of the airbag. When tightening these down, you want to make sure you tighten both sides evenly. Now we can torque everything down in that same order, and you will need a crow's foot for some of these just because they're really hard to get to, but I'll go ahead and torque these down in the same order. And once we have all these tightened and torqued down, we can tighten the bottom ones as well. We just kept those loose so we can move our bag back and forth to make sure it was perfectly aligned. Now I'll get a wrench in here, get these tightened down. Now we'll go ahead and repeat that process for the passenger side. It'll be the same exact process, except you will have this heat shield in your way. And go ahead and run our supply air lines. And there's a couple ways you can get these mounted up in the back here. I just decided to get a bracket we had in the shop. Now this doesn't come with the kit, but I just went ahead and mounted this to their existing hitch. Now if you don't have this, you could put this in a dead space in your vehicle or some of the mounting locations in your license plate. But our neighbor today is getting a compressor, so he's not going to use this all that often. Your lines in your kit are going to come as one long line, and what I did was I just cut it right in the middle, so I have two equal lengths, and then I put the nut on and your locking washer, and then you just want to slip that whole assembly through wherever you're going to mount it. I got the rubber washer. I'm going to go ahead and put that all the way down. And then I'm going to put your flat washer and then your other nut. And I'll go ahead and get this tightened down. I'll use a 13mm wrench, and I don't want to go too tight on this, just enough to snug it down. Went ahead and rounded it up and zip tied it to the existing wire harness here. I did leave a loop just in case they want to move this anywhere, like to their license plate. And I went ahead and followed up over the frame here, zip tied it to the harness. And then I went into this little hole on the frame, and now I can cut this and put it into our bag. When cutting this, you're going to want to use some special airline tubing cutters, because you want a really straight, clean cut so you don't have any leaks when you plug this in. I want to check to see if that's straight. Looking pretty good. Now I'll simply just push this into our fitting and give it a good tug to make sure it's secured. You're going to want to repeat the same process for your other airbag. Go ahead and put this hose back in place, and now I'll put air in our system and test all our fittings. And what we're looking for is bubbles that are constantly forming, and it looks like we're all good. Once you check for leaks, you can go ahead and put that spare tire back and set your pressure to what you want, and you're good to go. And that'll do it for the Airlift air helper springs on our 2025 Ram 3500. If you have any further questions, then please feel free to reach out. I hope this video helped you. I'm Daniel. Thanks for watching.